Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What Do You Say Anime. I am your host, Peter. And on today's episode, the gang, Pat, me, and Miles will all be discussing our first impressions of the currently airing fall. Or it's not fall. What is this? Spring? Spring.
That's it. That's the one. The opposite of fall, kind of.
I even have a thumbnail that says spring. The spring 2022
Oh, you're not
seasonal
starting
anime.
over. You're not starting over. I love it. Let's go.
No, yeah, just run with it. We're having fun. We're having a good time. I had a stressful day. I don't want to start over. I had to file a police report, and that's why we are recording an hour late. We could do that story for another podcast, but gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I was running late. You still stuck around. I appreciate you staying here. Before we jump into like our actual shows, I want to get you guys' first impressions on the overall season that is spring. So Miles, what are you thinking so far in the currently airing season?
Yeah, so this is the third season in the history of anime that I've tried to watch seasonally. The first one was like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something. It was like a pretty okay season. It was like winter 2020 or something like that. The other one was fall 2021. Which, you know what? I'm gonna say a hot take, not a great season. So I was a little skeptical about this attempt, but this season so far has been absolute fire. It's been great. I've enjoyed pretty much all of the shows except for the one show I'm watching because I hate it. So like that's
What show could that be? I wonder.
yeah, it's Birdie Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, hold on. We gotta mute you now. That's
So, I'm excited. There's but the later half of my week is filled with being excited about anime episodes coming out, and it's good. It's a good season.
Absolutely. How about you, resident anime guru Pat? How are you thinking so far?
It's funny. Yeah, I can say that again. This is the first one that I've actually like truly tried to watch a season of, like a full on gone in and really dedicated myself to trying to watch anime, and I think that's it's good to be back. You know, the king has returned. He's back to watching shows again, watching more than like one show. It's a lot for me. I'm really proud of myself, honestly. I and like Miles, I have not been disappointed once by this season yet. Well, I guess I was disappointed by that show that Miles also hates, but we'll talk about that more later. I think it's more just like surprised at how much worse it's gotten rather than being disappointed in it. Well, I don't know. I guess that is disappointment though. But either way,
I think it's a combo of both.
yeah, it's got to be because like I don't know. How did I like this show, man? Like what the fuck was wrong with me?
Oh, we'll talk about it because
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago. It's not even that long. It's not.
Outstanding.
It also has one of my favorite Reddit comments of all time when we get to that show.
I think all three of us love that Reddit comment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I saw
It's
it on
great.
Crunchyroll, but it ain't true. Yeah, it's goddamn.
But
What show are we talking about?
Well, before we jump into that, if you're looking for a specific show that we are going to be talking about, there's going to be timestamps in the description of the episode. So you can jump around. We're going to do our best to avoid spoilers, but there might be a few slipped in here and there, whether it's like minor. I don't think we'll drop any major bombs, but just forewarning, possible spoilers, especially with some of the bigger shows where like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the show called Spy Family. And if you're not watching it, you're probably living under a rock. It's one of my favorite manga that I've personally ever read. And I am just absolutely delighted by the adaptation that it's getting. As of right now, it's still a 1 chapter to 1 episode pacing, which I could not ask for more. Gentlemen, I want your initial thoughts on Spy Family.
Yeah, so I had thought about reading Spy Family ahead of the anime because I was bored in Barnes and Noble one day, and ultimately I decided not to. I was talking to Pete about it. Pete said he wasn't sure if I would like Spy Family, and I don't know if I like the manga. I'm sure I would though because the show has just been so good. I will say I'm glad I waited on the manga, because I think it lends itself so well to being animated, that like this might be one of those shows where, it has a top tier manga, but the anime also adds like an extra layer on top of it. So, I've been really enjoying it. My wife and I watch it every Saturday. She loves it. Everyone I've talked to has loved the show. The highlights, obviously, Anya and her reactions to things and stuff. It's just, they're perfect. The show has been, I was expecting big things from it, but it blew, it's impressed me so much more than I was expecting. And I was expecting big things from it. So those are my thoughts from Spy Family.
All right, Pat, how about you?
Yeah, this show is something else. I'm not a big manga guy, so I don't think I was ever going to read it, but I've been hearing nothing but good things about it ever since it's been started, because it's not even that old of a manga either. It's only been coming out for like what, a couple years now,
Yep,
if
yep,
that.
yep.
So,
About 2.5 years.
yeah, so there you go. Like it's about time it gets an anime, and it's killing it. I agree with what Miles is saying, that I don't think I would ever want to read it now, because I feel like Anya's voice, like as an example, enhances her bits like so much that, like, I don't know, reading it just couldn't do the same thing for me. I don't know. I think this show, what's great about this show is it can appeal to anybody. I think it has the comedy, but it also has like some serious like family moments or slice of life elements that are really good too. Even the action isn't that bad. Like, it's not like a show with like big fights or anything, but stuff
Yet,
happens. Stuff.
yet.
Oh wow,
I
stuff
believe that.
happens.
I believe the yet.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, the great studio behind it too, so it's only gonna keep getting better. Um, I I don't know. I've recommended this to non-anime fans, and they've liked it. Like, people who have never really watched anime, they've been like, "Whoa, this is hilarious." And then I've recommended it to people who kind of like anime. Some of my old roommates that would watch it with me when I forced them to, but not are aren't that into it, and they've been like, "This is the best show ever." I don't know. I have yet to see um one bad comment about this show. I mean, other than the obvious, yeah, the sexualization of Anna is just it's or Anya. It's devastating. Like, it just fills
uh,
my Twitter. In the show, it's one thing, but the fact that on my Twitter feed, all I see is Anya. It's obviously Anya, just all over the place. Like, it's disgusting. It really truly is. It's so disappointing that just
you
anime
know,
fans, SMH, right? Like,
if
god
you're not on
damn.
Twitter, you're probably so confused what's
It's
happening
not
right
just
now.
Twitter. No,
I mean,
this
it
is
started
started
this
on
as
a, is,
YouTube.
it
is this
started
a
as a
real
TikTok.
thing?
It started as a TikTok, and then it went
Mm.
viral on Twitter.
So
Yeah.
Is it a
basically,
meme?
here's the
No,
rundown.
unfortunately
For
not.
those that are confused, it is, well, it's a bit, it could be a meme. So what it is one random person on TikTok made the claim, "God, I hate how they sexualize Anna in this show." Ugh, and it was like it was the screenshot of like the father like holding her up, just
Yeah.
like how fathers do. Um, and then, because of the way impressions are farmed nowadays, and people share things just to get a rise out of people, um that one TikTok was shared as people kind of like, do you remember when the Demon Slayer fans don't want certain scene from manga to be translated or put in the next anime adaptation? Like people will just take like one person's take and then project it as if it's like the community is saying it, and then just to get a rise out of people and to get people talking. So that's kind of what happened here, and that's what I was referencing. So sorry for those that didn't get the long-winded joke. I hope it was worth it for you, if you stuck around for it. But I'm joking though, obviously, because there is no sexualization of any of the characters except for Yor. And uh, she's all over my timeline. I don't think I've ever seen a character. I mean, I guess Marin last season was
Yeah.
everywhere too, but like Yor is just dominating. Like, at least, like, there's no one else. Every I swear to God, every other post I see is a fan art of her, or a dojin of her, or a screen or someone cosplaying as
Yeah.
her. Like,
Yours getting to the non-anime fans too. I don't think
yeah,
Marin really ever did that. Like, Marin was really hot in the community, but my friends who maybe used to watch anime but don't watch it anymore, or very casually watch anime, um, or like shonen bros or whatever, they're all like, yo, you seen this Your Girl, you know, and like that's
Like, yeah, I have.
yeah, I know it's you know, the whole family is just fantastic.
And we don't even have the full family yet.
Yeah,
We
'cause
still have
we don't bond yet.
we don't have Bond yet. That it's not really a spoiler because like he's literally like on the covers and stuff like that. But they do get a dog.
His name is Bond.
His name is Bond, and guess what? He also has a quirk, and it's gonna be really funny when you get introduced to Bond and his like quirk. It's
love
a
his bow
great
tie.
it's a
bow
great
tie's
time. Yeah, I
Is
mean,
it one for all or whatever?
no,
Is that his quirk?
no, thank God,
No?
it's,
Okay.
thank God it's not. No, but
His quirk
this show is like literally
Casino Royale is his
transcending.
quirk.
Yeah, this show is transcending like anime. It's transcending media right now. It's the hottest thing. I saw something on Reddit today that it was the most popular TV show in Japan, not just anime, when it airs. That's how popular Spy Family is in Japan.
And it
Yeah.
airs at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So it is including DVR stuff, but like regardless, it's impressive.
Yeah, it's like 7 million viewers on an anime. For reference, something like, I don't know, since I kind of know wrestling, SmackDown gets 2 million views. So think of like a multi-billion-dollar company like wrestling, WWE, getting 2 million, and something like Spy Family getting close to, I think it was like 7 million. And
It's like 6.6 or something like that.
it was
Like,
actually 6.9. I didn't want to make the joke, but
okay.
Nice.
it's nice.
nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, this show is just, I mean, I called it, I knew this show was going to appeal to every single anime viewers. I wasn't expecting the level that it's at right now.
Yeah,
It's
like,
astronomical. The manga is sold out everywhere. Lucky for me, I pre-order and I already have all my manga. But this show is like, I literally think it's like going to be like a staple for anime. Like when you want to recommend an anime to somebody, I think Spy Family is going to be like in the top. It's going to be like Full Metal level of recommendations.
I agree with that. Because it's now like, I don't know, like one thing that I always think to recommend, because it's easier to do a movie than it is to do a full show for someone. I think of Your Name, and then I'm like, I want to recommend them this beautiful film that has really cool characters. And then I think about it, and then I'm like, the first scene is very anime, if you catch my drift, you know, where like he wakes up and he starts feeling his boobs, and is like, of course, you don't know that it's the guy in a girl's body until after, but still, that alone would be enough to like off-put some people who may have like a negative look at anime, especially too already, that might think like, oh, kind of all the weirdos and stuff. But this show so far, and I don't expect it to, has like none of that. It really, like, there's no unnecessary fan service. There's no, it's ridiculous, but in like a fun way. And like you said, it appeals to everybody, or it has a little bit of something for everyone. And yeah, this show, like, I know from just like a conceptual standpoint, I think it's the best thing in a long time that I've seen, because like it's like almost like too good to fail. It really is. Like I don't know how it could be bad.
Yeah.
But then of course it blows away your expectations, because you're just laughing around. Like even just the scene with Anya going like, where he's like, "You're gonna call me Papa," and she goes Chichi, yeah, which is like, or no, you're gonna call me Father, and she calls him Papa or whatever. And he's like, fine. Or he's talking. She's talking to the landlady that's like, "Oh, I've been with Papa for a long time." it's like he's, and Lloyd's sitting there like, you'd have to say that.
Yeah.
It's so clever. I love that Anya is clearly not her age that she lied and said she is. I love that as a psychic person, or as a whatever you call it, she I know. Oh, me complimenting a show for doing it this way. But she's not all knowing. She's not all knowing. It's great because she is flawed. She is kind of stupid at times, because she's like a 4-year-old kid. I know. I get it. I know.
The bakery
I prefaced it already. Yeah, the bakery being a bacon.
Yeah, it's like, I want bacon. Yeah.
No, but like that's the thing. She's stupid, but she's because she's a kid, rather than being just some all-knowing like genius because of because she has psychic powers. Like she's super naive, which is great. Like I just love it. It's really it's one of the best shows I think I've ever seen.
This show is top tier, and we still haven't even met like the supporting cast, which is also fantastic. Like we got like hints of Yor's brother, who becomes a side character who's really fun. Becky, who is Anya's like best friend at school, you get introduced, and she's great. Damien, who is like the leader's son. That's why the whole like reason is to like get into that school is to kind of be friends with this kid. The whole dynamic is going to actually it's going to change, but it's going to evolve into something
Expand.
expand. It's going to get more and more. So we talked about Spy Family for 10 minutes. We do like our recommendation. I think this is an absolute must watch. I think that if you are not watching this show, you're living under a rock. And if you do not like this show, that is a personal flaw against you. Miles, your recommendation on the show.
Yeah, I mean, you should watch the show. The show's really good. I don't know if I'll go as far as saying it's a personal flaw, but like, you know, I don't think I could imagine someone who wouldn't like this show. You know what I mean? Like, I think everyone does to some extent. You know, it's like a test for human. It's like the Turing test currently. Like, you can know if someone's like not a real human, they're like a robot because they don't like
Yeah.
Spy Family. It's
This will be the first anime I think I recommend to my parents that since Yuri on Ice, which of course Yuri on Ice didn't go very well. So you know, and you know they were indifferent towards Your Name or whatever, but I think this one they might actually really enjoy because like again the comedy is like clever, but it's also lighthearted enough that someone like my grandmother, who's gotten really old, you know, and is up there, she could still follow along and have fun with it too. And it's something that a whole family could watch without it actually being like awkward because there's really bad violent scenes or there's a naked character for some reason or whatever. Like no, it's literally it's wholesome fun, and I think that I can't. I'm gonna go. I'll recommend it to him after this. Honestly, I've been thinking about it, but there's no reason not to. And this is a must watch. This is so good. I mean, I told coworkers about it today.
Yeah,
it's really
on a call. I was like, guys, you guys have to try this. I know you guys look at me like I'm the weirdo because I like anime and video games, like or whatever. But like, come on, like watch this show, please. Like
that's 3 must watches. If you can't wait for the next episode, the Shonen Jump app is $2 a month. You can read all of Spy Family or go buy the physicals if you can find them anywhere. So
not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored, but hey, if Viz Media wants to hit me up or something, let me know.
They won't have to anymore. Well done.
For sure. Let's move on away from Spy Family. We love Spy Family, but we got to talk about some other great shows. Next one is called Love After World Domination. This one kind of took me by surprise. I liked the concept. I did think it was going to fall flat on like the comedy. However, I'm thoroughly enjoying this show. I think the dynamic between the two main characters is really fun. I'm learning things. Did you guys know that strawberry is the flavor of justice? Found that out. Thank you, Gelato Red. This show has been really fun. The cast, the Gelato cast themselves being like yellow as the flavor of like, I don't know what they say, like friendship, and then like pink is like the flavor of whatever. The Gelato 5 has just been a really great time. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Love After World Domination?
Yeah, so this has been super fun. It had a shaky first episode for me because the animation, specifically in the scene where they were on their date together, was like bad. It's the only way I can like describe it. It looked very amateurish the way that it was drawn. But it wasn't the whole episode, so like, you know, I wanted to see if they could pull it together, and they did. And as you were saying, the characters are great. Their dynamic is fun. You know, they do that like we're very shy, you know, sort of holding hands is too much thing, but like it does seem like they're evolving past that at anything resembling a speed that's acceptable, you know? And because of that, as much as that sort of like annoys me, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere with their romantic stuff. So if you are making that progression like it seems they are, then I'm fine with that. And I gotta say, this latest episode has thrown in what seems like is going to be some interesting plot complications. You know, it looks like Pink Gelato might have some feelings for Red Gelato, and she might have found out that he was dating the Skull Princess or the Reaper Princess. So I'm excited to see where it all goes and to figure out exactly what they'll do with the characters' like allegiances and stuff as it goes further, because I imagine that there will have to be some sort of event, like they can't keep up what they're doing this entire time. And that bear character is funny too. That's what I think about the show. It's
How about you,
Yeah,
Pat?
I'll be a lot shorter because this is one of the few that I haven't gotten around to trying yet. I'm not sure if I will ever. It looks fun. The main girl is cute, and the character design in general is pretty good. But I don't know. I haven't heard Spy Family levels of like compliments.
Oh, you haven't heard the second highest rank anime ever out of Love After World Domination?
Listen, that's what it takes. It takes that and golf is what it takes to get me excited about anime nowadays, and Chinese warlords or generals. We'll get to those later, but I don't know. I think again, it just looks fine. It just doesn't look like something that'd be mind-blowingly good. I don't know. If I keep hearing good things, I'll definitely give it a try.
I probably have it at like an 8 right now. What
Yep,
about you,
that's
Pete?
that. Yeah, that's where I have
An
it.
8, really?
Yeah, because yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's
The
solid.
first episode I think is the weakest, but like it does a good job building on it. I think it's built on itself well after every episode. I probably would have given the first episode a 6, the second episode a 7, the third episode an 8, but it seems like it's doing a good enough job that I'd give it that benefit of the doubt currently to say that like I imagine this will be an 8, projecting it into the future.
I'm in the same boat. It's progressing very nicely, especially in the romance area of the two.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I was expecting like 7, 6, maybe, but that's maybe that's more encouraging for me to give it a try.
There's that hilarious scene that Rifle posted.
Yes, that looks funny. Yeah, what is she doing? She basically
so they're in her dressing room in like the evil henchman headquarters or whatever, and because he like went on a secret mission to infiltrate it so that they could go on a date together, and someone calls into her room, and so she like sees the comm going off, so she like does the ninja moves to sit on him, and so one of her underlings is like, did I see a man in here? And like she's like, you absolutely did not, in like a very evil like tone. And he was like, yeah, it must have just been whatever, and he just hangs up immediately.
That's really funny. That scene is funny, like the flip, and I like. Was the timer in the real show, or was the timer like?
Yeah, it's in the real show.
Okay, that's even makes it even funnier that they like were kind of fourth wall breaking with it like that. That's pretty good. I don't know. All right, I'll give it a try. I just still am in disbelief that I'm watching like 8 shows right now. Like again, like
this
old
season
Pat
is insane.
This season
is crazy.
It's
old
sad.
Pat would put up numbers like that, but new Pat, man, like 3.
I wouldn't
max.
be putting up these numbers unless the season was good.
Yep.
Because I can't deal with mid. But like
yeah, the only concern too for me going forward with this is that it's done by Project Number 9, the studio that is given us Lolly Basketball and
God, yes.
But they gave us Tomozaki, so
oh yeah, Tomozaki, and then what was Higahiro? That's right, that really good show.
Hey, that show was good until the last episode.
Show, oh wow, that show choked it at the end.
Yeah, it did.
Damn, unlucky. Well, maybe it'll be a 6.79 like Lolly Basketball is,
nice.
And then we'll be much better.
Yep. I would recommend this show. If you've seen like Boarding School Juliet or Super HX Eros, I would recommend this show to those types of people. It's the kind of Romeo and Juliet-esque, like star-crossed lovers. I don't know, something like
Impossible lovers, right?
Yeah.
I like that. That makes sense as an analogy. I like that. The Boarding School Juliet is a really good example of another show like this.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation. It's like like Miles said, I think it's like a solid 7 or 8 right now.
Yeah, so like the score has gone from like a 6.8 to like a 7.45 over the last 3 episodes or something. Like people are definitely up on the show. I think it's good. I hope it stays good. Desi's wonderful. I'd absolutely recommend it, especially if you like rom-coms and the whole, enemies to lover sort of trope. I think it's worth a watch no matter what. But if you like those, I would say it's like a must watch.
Nice. Okay. Well, let's move on to a show that we've all watched, and in the words of Jay, this is peak cinema. This is the Venus line itself, Birdie Wing, girls golf story. We got the U15 tournament going on right now between our two MCs, Eve and Oi. Possible wizardry happening in the show. Possible, like, I don't know.
That's what I want to talk about.
Underground gambling. Lots of, like, I don't know, some syndicates possibly infiltrating the girls' golf scene. This show is all over the place, and I'm absolutely loving it. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts so far on Birdie Wing?
Yeah, so, I didn't know what to expect. I was just going to watch Birdie Wing because I knew the Discord would be watching Birdie Wing. But then in, like, the first episode, she, like, breaks a tree or whatever with, like, a golf ball. And I was just like, okay, I'm in. Like, golf is stupid, but this is awesome. And, like, I gotta say, in the last episode, the fact that we're having a debate about if magic is real in this world or not, is like all I think you need to know about this show. Is this show perfect? Yes, it is perfect.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Just like the main golfer and her swing, it's perfect. It's untouchable.
Yes, I think it's been a lot of fun. I think that the two main leads have like a fun dynamic. The soundtrack is surprisingly good for a show that's this show in particular. If you're looking for something that is, real talk, the show is stupid. It is really dumb, but it is dumb in a very fun way. So if you aren't trying to, like, think about it too hard, this is a really good show for that, is what my thoughts on it.
Do you want Legend of Bagger Vance, or do you want Happy Gilmore? Because this is Happy Gilmore. It's not this documentary, realistic style of golf storytelling. This is, I'm going to hit the ball 300 yards through a tree.
Yeah. So Miles, it wasn't just that she hit a ball into a tree. She hit it through the branch, and then it kept the momentum going. Like, after already traveling 200 yards, it's kind of mind blowing.
Train was the main.
The train too. Yeah, she hit it through between a train. She predicted the speed of the train and the gap between the train cars, so she could get her golf ball through it. Yeah,
you'd have to hit the ball so hard to do that
for it to. Initially, it would be possible, but like after it had traveled the 200 yards it had traveled, it would be almost impossible.
It would have to cause like a sonic boom.
She's the blue bullet
to see how fast the golf ball had to have been going to get through the gap in a train without getting hit by the train.
It also does. It gives you the yardage and stuff too, and what shot number too. Like you're watching real golf, in the bottom corner you'll see the little font, the fancy cursive font, like writing. Oh man. Oh yeah. So my turn. Oh yeah. This show. I'm a little disappointed. It's not like a super serious drama about golf. But I realized that wouldn't appeal to a lot of fans or a lot of people. It's I think someone else said this, and I've kind of latched onto it, but it is very similar to like Prince of Tennis, where it's still golf, but it's not like sorry for the audio listeners only, but it's golf, wink wink, but it's not golf in the same way that Prince of Tennis is tennis. Yeah, you can intentionally hit a slice around the side of the net and it would still count as a legal shot, but like, you know why that doesn't happen in real tennis? Because it's not humanly possible. Like it's literally impossible to shoot the ball that way. But in Prince of Tennis, they've got freaking junior high schoolers doing it. In the same way that in this show, they've got junior high school girls hitting the golf ball 300 yards and applying slice and doing lots of things that professional golfers struggle with. So it's pretty absurd. The animation isn't that great either. It's not bad. It's not horrible, but it is definitely a little sketch at points. Like you can tell it's a an understaffed or underfunded
Do
studio.
you remember in episode 2 where they're like Eve and the caddy were like running up to the ball, and it was
Yeah.
like the background didn't move at all, and they just got progressively bigger as they ran
Yeah,
forward. It's
it
just like,
was really.
what is happening?
Yeah, well, so like moments like that happen where at a normal or at a bigger studio or one better funded studio is probably the better way to put it. That just wouldn't happen, but that's them being rushed or them not having the time to dedicate to something like that, right? To a one-off stupid scene like that. The show also does these random moments of like very minor fan service, where the skirt pops up a little or something like that. It's so minor, but it does happen. Like it's
Oh, yeah,
definitely
I've
like an
never noticed
intentional.
it.
It's
I
kind.
haven't
You didn't
noticed
notice
it
either.
either.
Well, I
No.
thought it was pretty. Like it's when they like bend down to pick the ball up. It's like, why are you showing that angle from this way? Like, yeah, I don't know. It happens more in the OP as well. It happens in the OP a lot.
Okay.
If you haven't watched that, where it's just like, man, why? You didn't need to do that. It's not enough to like. It's not like DxD levels or Rosario
No,
Vampire.
yeah, I haven't seen
It's
any.
not Rosario Vampire either, but it's just like, like
I
come
kind of
on.
knew what to expect because of like Eve's like crop top that she wears. Like that's like the level of fan service we're going to get, which is like Buffalo mild.
It is. But yeah, it's just the random. But then there's the random camera shots that might be a little bit different. I don't know. Again, just keep your eyes peeled then, and let me know. Other than that, though, again, it's really fun. It is a really fun show, and I'm enjoying it. I'm just I'm a little sad it's not what I wanted it to be, but I'm enjoying it for what it is. And it's also not Pride of Orange levels of offensive.
What
to
if they
the
become
sport.
idols at the end? I'm just
Yeah,
saying
not even though
that
like
possibility is real.
No, I don't know. I like the drama though. I like the fact that it's like, oh, it's a golfer who plays it for fun, which is similar to what I do, right? Where I'm like a little bit more on the less like taking it serious and more about just going and having a good time with the guys, doing whatever. And then there's the golfer that's like, yeah, this is the sport. Like we have to play it seriously. It's a competition. It's really like important to honor the tradition or whatever. Like I like that there's both sides and like the two main girls are doing a great job of I don't know, being real people and not being just like anime characters, I think. At least so far. We'll see if that continues. I'm curious to see what the general vibe is with the mafia being involved. Because like even then, I don't mind the fact that the mob is involved. Like it's like, oh yeah, they're sponsoring her as a golfer so that she can actually compete because she's not going to school. Like clearly she's like just some random I don't know, homeless girl or whatever, right? Like, oh, why would she be allowed to compete in these events? Well, because the mob is doing it. Like, I'm curious to see what their influence is on what happens. And like we know, and the other big thing about the show is everything is so you can see everything that happens coming a mile away. I have yet to be surprised. Well, the only thing I was surprised by was, again, like Miles said, is there magic or
The
not in this
Yeah,
wizards,
show?
that's
the
what.
wizards,
Like,
baby.
it's literally at the end of the third episode. We're gonna find out tomorrow, by the way. At the end of the third episode, one of the mafia ladies goes, "Oh, I'm not so. Are you sure that she's about to win this right now? Because like while the ball is traveling, while the other girl had already hit the ball, and then it just suddenly veers off away from
Yeah.
the hole. And like, my first impression was like, oh, it's magic. There's literally magic being involved. And then you think about it and you're like, oh, maybe she just knows the course really well and knows that from that spot
She
there's
does
going to be a huge
strike
break.
like a witch pose, though, which
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
which
exactly.
is
That's
what.
why it's weird. It's
God, I hope
like
she's a wizard.
it's dramatized. Which of course this whole show is like super dramatized as well with everything. Um but yeah, that's why it's just like I don't know, like is that magic? Well, but the thing is, magic is feasible in this world because another thing that happens earlier in that episode is Eve goes and shoots the ball on the same hole that she practiced on the day before or whatever, and hits the ball so perfectly and exactly the same that remember that tree branch we talked about getting in the way earlier? She hits it through where that tree branch was, and then it's like, oh wow, she did that on purpose so that way she could like hit the fairway, and it's just like, no, that's not how, It's not how golf works. Like, oh, it drives me nuts.
That's how it
but
works
it's
in Birdie Wing, baby.
Yeah, so, blue bullets, baby. Yeah, I'm on the blue bullet train. Wow, that could be a good song. I like that.
Ooh, I like
I gotta
that.
get Has on that.
Get the Birdie Wing rap.
Yeah, Birdie Wing,
He
Birdie
still
Wing.
has. I'll discuss that later with him. I do want to say before we get to like our recommendations, I'm really digging like the character, like the costumes that they wear. I love costumes, the outfits. They look
Yeah.
they look really nice. Like I'm really enjoying like the unique style that they use. For me, Pat said before, if you like Prince of Tennis, if you like Kuroko no Basket, if you like these like sports like style of shows with a little hint of above and beyond what a normal human can do, I would recommend Birdie Wing. I'm having a good time watching it. It's not groundbreaking. It's not going to be a staple, but it's really fun. So if you're looking for a fun show, I recommend it. How about you, Miles?
Yeah, so I would say if you're like, someone like Pete, who's like usually pretty deep
Oh
on your
yeah,
average, yeah, who gets pretty deep, um,
talk me up
you
some
know,
more.
and on your average seasonal viewings, you're like 8, 9, 24 shows deep, but you skipped Birdie Wing because, I mean, you looked at the cover or whatever. Give this a chance. If you really like golf, give this a chance. And if you like kind of silly stuff, give it a chance. I think it's good. I definitely don't think it's something everyone needs to watch. Um, but I do think it's something that is probably going to be better than you're expecting it to be. And it can definitely be good if you're into a certain kind of show. So, if anything we have said has interested you, but you've been a little skeptical, maybe because of the mal rating or some of the iffy animation stuff you might have seen, give it a go. It's a fun time.
How about you, Pat?
Yeah, it's definitely not a must watch. It's a must watch for someone like me who loves golf, right? And uh but like for a like I wouldn't recommend this to a normal person. I don't even know if I'd recommend it to like most anime people. I think like Miles said, like if you want a little bit of the goofiness or the golf aspect interests you for whatever reason, or if you think the cover art's pretty, there you go. That's enough to watch it. I agree with Pete. The costumes are really good because they do a good mix of like, oh, she's the casual golfer, but then she also then dresses up and puts on like a real golfing uniform. Like it's very interesting so far. I think I think it's almost it's not perfect for me because I wanted a drama out of it, but we're still getting a little bit of a drama too. So I think this could appeal to a good amount of people, but not everyone.
Yeah,
Definitely not everyone.
yeah. That's 3 approvals from us for Birdie Wing. But you know what's not getting 3 approvals from us? The next show. We've been waiting for it. Rising of the Slave Heroes season 2. Oh boy, what a season! This has been a burning trash can so far. Not even in terms of, I guess I had higher expectations of this show, just in terms of the production value, the story, where I thought it was going. And so far, it's 0 for 4. It's me at the 3-point line. Like, it is not hitting a single shot. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2?
Yeah, so like, I gotta say, I was excited to hate watch this. And like episode one hit me with some of that stuff I love. Like the very first thing Alphamy does is like pick up some more slaves. You know what I mean? And like I was like, and Raphtalia has like this really weird, like she's that uh actress from Smallville, right? Um, who was in Nexium.
Yeah, who's in prison. Yeah.
Yeah, for like recruiting everyone to that cult,
Yep.
right? So like Raphtalia like really takes on like that role. She's like, "Hey, green-haired girl, you know what's really cool? Being a slave." So, I was excited for that. But, the show is paced terribly now. The animation has been worse. The directing hasn't been good. So like sort of the secondary quality things that were there in season 1 that made it a fun show to like hate watch or whatever are like kind of gone.
Yep.
As Pete was saying, like they're introducing characters and not really establishing them. They just move rapidly from plot points to plot points, yet it feels like nothing happens. there's this weird thing where at the end of episode 1, the spirit turtle lady shows up and she's like, I need you to kill me, Shield Hero. And then like in the next episode, it's like a week later and she comes into the council with the queen, and she had apparently, her and Naofumi had never had a follow-up conversation after she was like, please kill me. And that was just really jarring because you knew it was like a week later and they just hadn't talked. How? If someone says that to you, surely you talk to them. And that's the sort of thing that's the series is just like a little rife with currently. When they behead the turtle, it rains gore, but Raphtalia nor Philo get any blood on them. Like
Why
it's
would
literally
they?
raining blood on them. They add some like red shirts to kill. And then they add people who are not red shirts, but we don't know who they are, but they have like celebration scenes and stuff, like that blonde woman. And it's like you definitely know, like in the light novel or like in the manga or something, that woman had been around for like a few extra chapters, and
They
we
had a
knew
name.
like we knew who she was, like literally at all, more than Melty sent her, you know. So like, I mean, I have like season 1 of Shield Hero at like a 3 or a 2 or something, and this season has been disappointing for me. So like that should put it into perspective. um, yeah, those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, this show, this season's making me want to go back and lower my score again, which Miles has made me do probably 3 or 4 times in our discussions about the show. Because I didn't even think about it from the perspective of, hey, maybe this guy with slaves or the whole slavery thing is bad and like not a cool like writing. Not that I thought it was cool, but like not an acceptable writing mechanic or tool, plot point, whatever. And that, yeah, I don't know, man. The first 3 episodes, the thing that sticks out the most to me, beyond like what Miles said with the getting a new slave in the first
It's like the first
it's
10
like
minutes
the
of the show.
first 10
It
minutes.
was I couldn't have asked for a better intro, to be
It was
perfectly honest.
it was just like, here we are. I have some screenshots from, I think it was episode 2. Um Saved here. Let me pull up one of the dialogues. Oh yes. Well, you're old enough, I think.
Oh,
That
that was
was an
such a
awkward
weird
scene.
conversation.
Yeah, where they were like joking about sex in front and making fun of the young girl for not knowing what it was or not. I don't know. It was
Well,
not,
she
and then
knew what
having
it was, but
yeah.
Raphtalia didn't.
Raphtalia didn't, and that made it even more awkward because Raphtalia's like, oh wait, what are they talking about? Are they talking about
Yeah,
things
but
that?
she understood what Philo meant in the season 1. You know what? Never mind. It doesn't
Mm,
matter. It doesn't
mhm.
matter.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite Discord messages was like, "Hey, does anyone else think Raphtalia is a little too into slavery this episode?" And then that kind of just like, I don't know, started setting a trend of like what I started seeing on like Reddit, where like people were like questioning themselves if season 1 was actually good.
yeah.
And
That's how I feel
because
now.
that's how yeah, because Miles showed me the light. Miles is like my messiah. He showed me the way that Shield Hero season 1 is bad. It's fun, but it's bad. This season's not even fun.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
it's been so
agreed.
boring. That's why I meant to say that. Like I've watched 3 episodes and I've been bored like through all 3 of them. It hasn't been fun at all. Like I've just been sitting there and like, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe me hate watching it now is making it worse for me, a worse experience. But like the fights haven't been fun.
no,
The
they're super
this
sad.
turtle
dialogue,
fight was so bad.
the dialogue has just been nonsense or laughably bad, where I'm making fun of it rather than like enjoying it. Um,
Well,
I
part
don't
of the
know.
fun is like, because like somehow in this world now for me is like the best human, right? Like that's the quality of person in this universe, right? Because like the other people are just so willfully ignorant and stupid that but like we don't even have the other heroes to like cheer against anymore. Like we don't have like Spear Hero doing dumb Spear Hero things, and then like Bow Hero's a huge douche, and then like we're always like, come on, Sword Hero, you're so close to figuring it out, and then he does it because of the peer pressure, and they're like, it's like fun to tease, even though they're another bad element of the show. At least they're like characters we know that have been established that like we get that dynamic with like Naofumi. I really don't understand what the turtle lady's doing. And like I know that like they have to kill the turtle, but then she was just like, "Oh, I forgot." She gets like memory things that change the dynamic of what they're doing randomly, like specifically when they need them. Like she'll get parts of her memory back. It's just, it's not written well. Manga fans and light novel fans have said this is the worst arc, by far. Some people have said it get better. Some people have said while it does get better, it doesn't ever recover. But it's just interesting to see. I will say I am curious to see how it handles post this turtle arc, which people are just saying is awful. Like, is the arc just truly so awful that the best choice by the studio was to do all of this bad writing and stuff just to like shave 2 to 3 episodes off the turtle arc? Or is this sort of bargaining by Shield Hero fans who are like, well, this is the worst arc, and once we get to the other arc, it'll be better, and then like it just isn't better because they're because I truly do believe that they're adapting it poorly on top of it not being that good. Like I
Correct,
think it's
yeah.
a double whammy. Those are sort of like my thoughts about what's happening here. It's like it's a bad arc that's being adapted poorly. And it's hard to recover from, really.
Yeah. This is, to me, for my recommendation, if you're a fan of like the community aspect of like discussing shows, going on like Discord, Twitter, whatever that you use, this is a very fun show to talk about. This is a very bad show. I don't think I would recommend this to like isekai fans to like say like you have like a new friend coming into the scene, they watch SAO and they really like it. I think Shield Hero would probably be like the 15th show I would recommend to them. It's just not hitting. I'm not having a fun time watching this, and yeah, I get a thumbs down for me. How about you, Miles?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna recommend Shield Hero. Like, I'll recommend Shield Hero if you want to like MST3K it with me. You know what I mean? Like, I think that I don't even know if I can do that anymore. Like the season has been boring. It's not just like an edgy power fantasy that like accidentally became pro-slavery because the author was like trying to be edgy, and it's like kind of fun to see things like that, like from a like how does this exist standpoint. It's like an edgy power fantasy that's also so fucking boring, and like I kind of want it to improve because I don't, in a rivalry, you want there to be a balance. And like I don't think I can ever bring my A game unless Shield Hero is bringing its A game, and that's how I feel. So sadly, it's a pass for me right now.
And if we do
Yeah.
Mystery Science Theater, can I be the robot?
Absolutely.
Awesome. How about you, Pat?
God, man, pass. Like I don't even know. I know I used to watch this with like some of my old college roommates when this was first airing, and it was like we enjoyed it. We didn't think it was like the best thing ever, but we had a lot of fun with it and talked about it a lot. And now I don't even want to like ask them if they're watching it still because I don't want to make them watch it. I don't want to make them like have to find out that it's bad now. Um, and then wait, here's the space astronaut meme. It's bad now. Always has been.
Always has
Always
been.
has
Miles,
been.
Miles is sitting there like waiting for me to say that. But yeah, it's a pass. I can't justify watching it or recommending it, especially because Philo is still a character that exists. I think the only way the anime could ever get a score higher than like, well, I guess a 6 at this point from me would be to literally have Philo get killed in some way. Like I would if they showed her if she dies or whatever, even if it's like in a blaze of glory and like you know she jumps into the frying pan as a chicken and just like saves the day, whatever. Even if she does that, and becomes the martyr, I don't care as long as she's dead
Yep.
and I don't have to hear her ever again. See the chat.
That's aggressive, but I get it.
So no, it's not. She
that's how-
deserves nothing, and I just
So 3 hard passes from the boys. Let's move on to
good
something.
anime again.
Yeah, we're talking a good anime. This season's, I would say, ranking of kings in terms of the community. Like, yo, this show is coming out of nowhere and loving it. That's your boy Kongming. I don't even know if Kongming is how you pronounce it, because like in the show they say like Komi. I don't know. It's strange how they like pronounce his name, but this resurrected Chinese general is now in present day Japan working with an EDM artist or singer, trying to make her dreams come true along with him, just kind of going along for the ride. This show is, it's fucking great. I'm having such a great time watching it, especially the last episode where like the two go like adventuring to like other clubs, and then you just meet like Kongming is just like friends with everybody. He's like the club owner's like, yo, my boy Kongming, what's up? They like dab each other up. It's like, what is this show? I'm having an absolute blast. The music is fun, I'll say. I don't think it's necessarily good, but I'm having a really fun time with it. But it's like, we can talk about like complaints about this show, but in a little bit. But I think overall this show has been fantastic. Gentlemen, your thoughts on your boy Kongming?
Yeah, I have a crush on Echo.
Aiko.
Aiko. And the show is just so good. You know, I think the music's good, so whatever. Pete, and it's just like a really cool take. It reminds me of like Food Wars a bit.
Ooh.
Like, not the ecchi aspect, obviously, but in the way that you're taking these like battle strategies and applying them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like that sort of deal where, you know, he's taking, in this case, actual historical techniques that were used during the Three Kingdoms periods of China and applying them to becoming the best EDM singer. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's silly, it's fun, the characters are good. You know, and it's pleasant. It's just it fills me with cheer, you know?
Mhm.
Like that, I think that's the main thing about it. Like, after I finish watching the episode, I've had a good time. And I think that's really important for, you know, a show like this to really instill joy, right? And like that's like it does it so well. And that's why I like it.
Yeah. So wait, you were hinting at this, Miles. Pete doesn't like the music in it.
So he had said he hinted towards it.
I could go into it more if you want now.
Yeah,
I'm just,
you know what?
Okay.
I'm blown
Pete,
away.
Okay,
You fucking
so-
loser. Go ahead and tell us why the music
Okay.
is so bad.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you've seen Carol and Tuesday, in the show, it's a singing show, and they sing in English. And when they do that, they use the English dub voice actors to sing the song, and it makes like the experience a lot better. I feel like the broken English that she sings sometimes, to me, is kind of off-putting. It doesn't sound like she understands, like the rhythm of her music isn't really like hitting that well. So that's really like my
Wow.
only complaint with like the music so far. But like,
I listened to Be Crazy for Me 20 times today.
yeah,
I was just, she doesn't sound. See, to me, one of my main my first thoughts while watching this show was, wow, she doesn't sound like she's singing in English.
I think
she's singing in English.
I think if
she
you've
sounds
seen
like she
Carol and
knows the language.
Tuesday, you will understand my side. If you haven't seen Carol and Tuesday, then you don't know what the fuck I'm saying right now.
Well, no, I can totally get what you mean. Where it's like, yeah, rather than having a Japanese person struggle to sing in English, they are having an English voice actually sing the song, and the song that is in English, right, to make it sound like it's an authentic person
Yes.
singing. But to me, it felt like she was authentically singing in English. Like, at least so far, I've only watched 2.5 episodes out of the 4 that are out. So maybe one of the later songs goes. But like, I remember the first episode. I don't know if I typed it out or if I just said it when I was watching with like Haz and the guys. It was like the English actually sounds like English. It's not like bad. It doesn't sound like a Japanese person reading English. It sounds like a person singing in actual English. I thought, at least that's what my thought was. Outside of that though, the show is fantastic. I love this show. The historical aspect is really cool because I love how um he's a strategic general, right? He's not necessarily a figurehead or a king. He's a person that advises the king or advises someone. So it makes sense that he's really intelligent, cool, composed, and if his role fits in, like the role that he fills within Aiko's life or career makes sense for someone like coming from his background. He's very methodical with. He's like, okay, well now I'm here. It's not hell like he thought it was, which is funny, because that's how I feel whenever I drink tequila too. I think it's hell. I think my life is hell. But like he figures it out, and then he coolly and calmly makes his decisions to try to help her career succeed. And it's, oh man, it is so clever. Like I like too that he acknowledges when he was talking to the guy. He's like, oh, that strategy or that battle plan that we did. Oh, it sounds like it was exaggerated. He says about one of the things that they did because he actually lived it, and obviously 2,000 years later, just like Arthurian legends or whatever, things are going to get exaggerated. I love that they acknowledge that, or they make him acknowledge that. There's so many cool little Easter egg thingies like that make the show just so cool. It's I can't get over it. I am hooked. I knew I was gonna like it based off of Pete and Miles talking about it the last couple days or weeks, but I did not expect to be as hooked. Like they really do the again, it's not really technically a reverse isekai, right? But they do the um what a warlord China probably would react, or this guy would probably react like. It really does feel authentic, and I love that. So yeah. The one my big one complaint. The don't watch the OP after I tell you this. Because the OP song is phenomenal, and the OP visuals are great too. The dancing is really fun. They just don't match. They watch them dance. I need someone in the comments too. Other than, well, I have the actual musician in the Discord on my side, so I feel pretty good about this. But like the BPM of her dance moves, or Kongming specifically as well, is not the same as the BPM of the song. And it bothers me that in the first episode of the show, they talk about how important BPM is, and they reference it in the show, but then in their own freaking OP, they can't even have the person dancing on screen in sync with the music. It drives me nuts. I hate it. It's so freaking annoying because it's a fun song and fun visuals, but why? Just speed it up a tiny bit. It's like, and it's not like it's like offensively bad. It's just enough that you can see it if you're like a trained ear or whatever. Like you feel it if you're like a trained musician, which I was at one point at least I was a bass player, so I like it. Just it's like why but this is my second favorite show of the season, like if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So
I also love that the OP is from a Turkish singer. The song was released in 2004. It reminds me of like the Ra Ra Rasputin song. But yeah, this is a Turkish pop song that they kept like 95% of the same lyrics. They just, like translated into Japanese or whatever.
I was just say the Japanese lyrics are very cool though too. It's like when you read like what the translation is, it's a fun. They say tequila in it, Pandora's box, like all this.
Look up the Turkish version whenever you got a chance. It's very 2000-esque pop song. I don't know if you remember the Numa Numa song. It kind of reminds me of that.
Oh, what Numa,
yeah, that.
Yeah.
That. Okay, yeah.
It reminds me of that, but it's super fun. This show's a treat. I'm loving it. One of probably in like my top 5. It's fun seeing it go from like a 7.8 to like almost an 8.4 in 3 episodes. It's been killing it. It's doing like the community is fully behind you, boy. And I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. This gets my thumbs up recommendation.
Yeah, so Pat can suck it up because it's gonna win OP of the year, and it's not gonna be a competition.
It's not. It's not winning OP of the year.
It'll win OP of the year. You heard it here first.
What's winning it instead?
Demon Slayer by like a mile. Demon Slayer's Demon Slayer season 2 OP is phenomenal.
Yeah, it was fine.
It's phenomenal. You're smoking crack.
Okay, yeah. Well, anyways, Pete can also suck it because it's winning OP of the year.
And what? Not in this podcast, baby.
Well,
I will make sure of it.
We'll see what the community chooses.
You think I won't cheat to spite you? Because I will.
Hey man, you let a regular entropy type for a second.
I did.
This show's great. It's super enjoyable. What I'm really excited for is to meet that idol group that are like vaguely insect themed from the OP.
Yeah.
They look so cool and like sinister, like villains or something. Like I'm excited for that. So this is like a 2 thumbs up recommendation. This is in a lot of seasons, this probably would have been my favorite show of the season.
Yeah.
This season's just really good. So it's probably like my 4th favorite show of the season. But last season, it would have been my favorite show of the season. So there you go.
This show, it has a lot of historical references, which obviously gets to me. Like they show in the opening, they show Red Hair is his name, the horse of Guan Yu, the patron saint of war. And then they mention him in like the 2nd episode. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember Guan Yu or whatever," and it's just like, this is like this is like my dream, right? Like having like historical things like this, and I don't know, man. I can't wait to see where this keeps going. It's so clever. It reminds me of Zombieland Saga. Like that's a
good comparison.
That's a good one.
It's a total totally the same vibes where like if you loved Zombieland, which I am probably the biggest shill for that show that's ever existed, you'll love this show, and that's the vibe. It's not exactly that yet, but it's getting there, I think. Yeah, I like Aiko a lot too. Like Miles said, I have a crush on her as well.
That's you haven't got to the scene yet. If you're 2.5 episodes in?
2.5. I'm like right at the end of the 3rd episode where she's at the music festival.
Is the producer guy said I have a crush on Aiko yet?
No.
Okay, it's a scene from the show. It's fantastic.
Okay, well, I will look forward to it, and then I'll fight that guy for Aiko because yeah, it's just fun, and it's oh god, it's so much fun. This like I wish it was slightly more reasonable, like of a well, like the only complaint that you can really think of would be this is a hard show to recommend to like non-anime fans, like in the same way Zombieland Saga is, where it kind of makes fun of anime a little bit, makes fun of the culture a little bit, but this show is not so, as much, but it's still similar enough where I'm like, I couldn't recommend this to like my college friends,
Sure.
right? Because they wouldn't get it, or they wouldn't care to get it, I guess. But man, any anime fan out there that is just looking to vibe to some good EDM music, and God, what a good show this show is, man. Yeah, two thumbs up, two chitty chitty bong bongs, or whatever they say in the song, of approval from me as well.
Yeah, 6 thumbs up for your boy Kongming. Moving on to a show that looks like the most generic isekai ever made. However, this is my number 3 of the season. I love Trapped in a Dating Sim. This show is hilarious. I look forward to it every week. The main character is like he gives me like some Kazuya vibes, some Ano's Voldigold vibes, where he's kind of like a douchebag. He kind of knows that he's like a little bit more powerful than the other people, but like really, I don't know, until he kind of discovers Marie, is kind of just like chilling the whole time, and just his antics of like trying to find a wife, trying to go to school. His robot companion has been a absolute treat, And I kind of like how cliche like the evil princes are and stuff like that, but they kind of like turn it up to like an 8 and like kind of just like really push the cliche and like overdo it. And to me, I'm finding this style of comedy absolutely hilarious. I'm having a wonderful time. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Trapped in a Dating Sim?
I keep waiting for the show to become bad. It's like, by all rights, it should be.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's just been good every episode. It's sort of weird watching it because you're waiting. Yeah, like at least I am. I'm legitimately I'm waiting because like surely the shoe has to drop at some point. You know, like they had demi-human slaves, so I was like, oh, is he gonna pick up a couple of them? But he didn't. So like it's like okay, like you know, like that's waiting in the wings and everything. And then for me, the most interesting thing is the double isekai hook that they have, where the antagonist, this is half of a spoiler, was also isekai'd into the world, which is like a pretty interesting dynamic, because they aren't 100% sure that each other have been isekai'd into that world. So that dynamic is really interesting. The main character, or who's supposed to be the main character, not really being the main character anymore because Marie came in and sort of like stole that role, is another interesting dynamic because it allows like her and Angelica to play off of each other in like an interesting way where they were normally supposed to be rivals. They do good things with the character tropes and how they're put into a different position than they were written in the game. You know, which is pretty interesting. I guess some people don't like the visual design of the show. I can't say that I ever noticed it.
I feel like isn't it like kind of supposed to be on purpose? Like it's supposed to look like
they were just trying to make it a little shoujo-y or
whatever. Yeah.
Like,
it to me it's like very visual novel-esque. Like it looks like they're living in a visual novel, which the game that they played,
people don't like the eyes. I don't have an issue with it. Pat might be looking at it and you might have an issue with the eyes. You're muted if you're...
I'm looking at it and grimacing. It's like, it looks like shit to me. So I don't know. They look, yeah, like you said, the light novel look like, yeah, or not light, visual novel.
Visual novel, yeah.
Yeah, that don't they usually look pretty bad?
I feel. No, I mean, I don't know. Like some visual novels look absolutely fantastic. It just depends on the budget. Like
no, Ricky Horn looked better than this, and
yeah. Well, that was a hot. Can you even get higher budget than Ricky Horn, the world's corniest house slave? No, okay.
I don't think so either. So, I haven't seen the show at all. It wasn't even on my radar. I don't know. Maybe I'm just burned out on isekais, but this doesn't look appealing to me at all.
It's so good. It's so good.
The art looks awful to me. Like even this episode 4, like cover preview art or whatever that Crunchyroll gives is that like mech or like a guy in a robot suit, and it looks so CGI. Even in a still, it looks like CGI,
it's supposed to be bad on purpose. It makes sense in the story.
Well, that still sucks. So there you go.
You liked it in Zombieland Saga. I'll fight you.
Yeah, come on, Pat.
Well, Zombieland was making fun of the series, but yeah, that's fair. Either way, it's ugly. So yeah, I don't think I could ever.
That's like a fine criticism.
I haven't seen,
but like the show is. I think the show is hilariously well written. I love the fact that Marie kind of gets money from the prince, and so she hires an assistant or whatever, and she wants she's kind of into the younger brother trope. And then when she gets like an assistant that has like that younger brother trope, she realizes it's actually super fucking annoying. It's like really. It kind of reminds me of like how people like love tsunderes, but like if you lived with one, you'd probably like hate them immediately. And so she's like immediately regrets her decision of like, oh, I like this trope when I played the game, but like now that this person's around me forever, like I hate you. I think I love like the antagonist that is Marie. I love how it's like changing the game where he kind of knows as soon as he gets into the academy that like the main heroine isn't like being pursued by like the 5 dudes, and he's like something's off, and that kind of like trickles the effect that the story that he played in the visual novel before he got like transported in is changing, and he's not going to be able to skate through it because he knows how he was so good at the game or whatever.
Yeah, that's an important aspect for me. Like, I want to see him, like, he's crushing it now, and I'm fine with that because he played the game so much, right?
Yep.
But like, as the game changes, I want to see him have to think and like rely on Angelica and that sort of thing, where, you know, instead of just continuing to be the overpowered protagonist.
Yep.
It doesn't really strike me as a show where he's gonna ever really go through like a ton of struggles. But throwing in some sort of obstacles,
like he's like
nice.
poor compared to the people there. Like his struggles is like financial troubles.
He's not going to be after the next
no. He's gonna be loaded, which is great. I loved it. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I read ahead in the manga, so I'll not spoil anything. But I just really wanted to know what happened to the show because it's so good, and so I read ahead maybe 10 or 15 chapters, and I mean, it's good still. So we'll see.
Yeah,
it's just a weird show to like.
It is a weird show to like.
Yeah, it's weird because like it has no right being as good as it is.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
What's the one where you like he just trains all the time?
One Punch Man.
No, so he doesn't get hurt. The overpowered, like cautious hero, is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
It reminds me of that, where like on the surface it kind of looks like a stereotypical isekai, and then you watch this like this show's fucking great. Like this is this show. This show is like I have the show.
That's a really good.
I have the show at a 9. Like I think the show like literally the only thing I don't like about it is like it's like I think like the animation's like a fair criticism. Like it's so fun. It's so well written. The dialogue between the characters are hilarious. I don't know if you remember the Duke Nukem quote from last episode. I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum and I'm all out of gum. And he's just like, okay, well, sorry, I can't say piss around girls. He goes like, oh, sorry, I was out there picking flowers and I'm all out of flowers or something.
They switched that from the source material because he said he was taking a shit and they must have found that was too crude.
Oh.
So...
This, if you like Konosuba style comedy, this show is great. That's kind of like where I'm comparing the comedy to. It's a treat.
He's very similar to Kazuma.
Yeah.
It's I don't think I'm at a 9. But it's a good show. You know, and I don't know if you're listening to this and you were looking at us like Pat was looking at us when we started talking about the show, and we were just like, oh, is it like. The thing is, I don't know anyone who's watched the show who doesn't think it's good.
You're correct. Yeah. Even like Mako is just like this is like her favorite show this season.
She's the one who recommended it to me.
Yeah.
It's
like this show is great. I look forward to it. It's the first show I watch on Sunday. Like this show is just wonderful.
Yeah, it's really good. I hope it can continue being as good as it is. Because it would just be nice to get another comedy isekai in there that wasn't. I also think that, and we obviously don't have time to do this now, but like investigating how we use the word generic, what that actually means, and what we really mean when we say generic is probably like worthwhile. Because like this show is like for sure generic, but it's also good.
Yeah.
And so that's made me think a lot about how I criticize anime, and like maybe generic is too easy of a throwaway word to use, and it lets me dismiss things without really thinking why, you know. But you know, that's like a topic for like an entire podcast.
For sure. I think that'd be fun. So, but that's honestly 2 thumbs up for this show between me and Miles. I think it's worth checking out. Watch the 3 episodes. you'll know right away if it's your style of comedy. So that's Trapped in a Dating Sim.
Check out that Mal score of a 7.1.
It was like
It
a
is.
it was like a
it's up
6
a lot.
something.
It's going up
It's
every
going
week.
up. It's not
Wow.
stopping. The Trapped in the Dating Sim rocket has so much gas in it, and up is the only way to go,
If you look
it'll
at the
explode.
reviews, it's like 10,886, I think, or 10,887.
Yeah.
For like the top reviews, I think that I bet it ends around like a 7.5.
Yep, me too.
7.7-ish, and I think that's perfectly fair for the show, but it's a lot of fun.
It's great. 2 recommendations from us. Next up is probably what I thought was going to be like the slice of life big newcomer. Aharen Is Indecipherable. The first 2 episodes I thought for the show were pretty mid. I'm a slice of life snob, and so as long as there's like cute things happening and they're having fun, I'll enjoy it and give it a 6. Episodes 3 and 4 have been a massive step up, I think, to me in terms of the style of comedy. Where in episode 3, where Rido thought that Aharen was trying to go like viral on YouTube with dances, and they're doing like the b-boy dance, and they're doing like these like, I don't know, like you see like the kids like TikTok dancing and stuff, like practicing. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that's like topical. And episode 4, when they had like the match in the park with the game, the Othello type of game that they played, was just really well done. Go. No, it's not Go.
It's not Go?
No, they're playing like it's Othello, but they call it something different.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Go.
No, Go's like...
Were they playing shogi?
No, shogi's more like chess. Shogi's like 3-layer chess. This is like where you put like the black and white tiles, and then when you like, trap them, you flip the colors. That's what they call it, something other than Othello. It's Othello in the United States, so I'll put it that way.
I think in Go you don't you trap them and
it's not Go.
Okay, it's not Go.
Go looks like Chinese checkers, but it's played differently.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Trust me, it's Othello. They're playing Othello.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, so far, episodes 1 and 2 mid. Episodes 3 and 4, I had a really good time. That's like the stuff I'm looking for in like the comedy slices of life. Miles, I know that you've seen a few episodes. What are your thoughts on Aharen?
I haven't seen episode 4 yet. I do agree that episode 3 is better than episode 1 and 2. It is. So this is an interesting thing. I see a lot of people calling this a rom-com.
I think it gets there eventually.
Does it get there? Okay,
but I don't think it's anywhere near season 1.
I don't think we're like close to that at all.
Not even close.
You know, it's a pleasant show. It's a little sleepy for me. Like even episode 3, which I acknowledge is like a step up, is still not quite engaging enough for me. There are like big pauses between scenes for like the pacing, like the transitions between things take a little longer than I guess I would like directorially. I think it's probably the right choice for the show, if that makes sense. It's just not my cup of tea. I think that the way they do that is fine. It is a very unique sense of humor. It's a little like Sporky, if you remember that meme, like Penguin of Doom, like holds up Spork. Like it's like a little random, like the lol random humor where they do where he just has these like thoughts in his head about what Aharen is doing, and then it's a little bit like Family Guy with cutaway gags where he'll think of a scenario, it'll cut to that scenario being played out, and then it will cut back to reality.
Mm-hmm.
Those scenarios are sometimes quite funny, like when he was imagining her as like a metal singer.
That was great. And she got the haircuts. That was awesome.
But it's like it's sort of like ethereal and vaporous. Like the show floats through your grasp a little bit. I that's the only way I could describe it.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy it. I mean, I like it. It's not, the thing I'm looking forward to every week, but it's a comfy show, and I think that if you're like a slice of life fan, um, and you like slower paced sort of stuff, then it's probably a pretty good entry for that type of show.
Yeah, yeah. I'm huge in the slice of life. This is like a 7 to me. So I would say for most people, this is probably in like the 5-6 range. If you're not,
Yeah,
really,
I think I have it at like probably a 6.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's fine. Like it's a fine show. It's not gonna be for everybody. I would recommend it if you like, Comey. If you like those style of like slice of life. That's kind of like that's what you think is better than Comey.
I don't like Comey.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking with you.
So yeah, that's
Welcome
I
to the
tried to like
club.
Comey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just
I love it. And season 2's been
People who
great.
love it need to touch grass.
Well, first of all, suck a dick. I love Kobe, and I touch grass all day. I smoke it. No.
Is there grass in Minnesota?
Yeah,
or Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Minneapolis. There, I corrected myself. I'm
We got
surprised.
parks,
There was a
baby.
concrete jungle where dreams are killed. and
Minneapolis? No,
shot.
no.
No. Oh.
Minneapolis is a big suburb.
Oh, it is. I'm just so used to seeing. Well, maybe not around now because it's the postseason, but I'm so used to seeing like right outside the arena of the Minnesota Lynx.
I mean, we have
we have
downtown. Yeah, we have a city. Yeah, but
that's very concrete. That was a dig.
There's a burn in there.
There was a dig I was going for.
I'm proud of the Minnesota Lynx.
Not the. I meant to say
You meant to say the Timberwolves.
I meant to say the Timberwolves. If I'm being honest, but then I went to the Lynx because the Lynx are the team that I actually know from there because they're actually good.
4-time champs,
should be proud of them. Hell yeah, Maya Moore, baby. There we go. Huskies represent.
She hasn't played in like 5 years.
Yeah, because she's doing more things better for the world than playing basketball.
She's done with that. She married the guy that she got out of prison.
Oh, she's still doing activism. Like it's just not
as much as she used to.
Fair. Basketball podcast.
Yes,
about
if you want to talk Minnesota Lynx basketball, let me know. So it's for me. If you like slice of life, I would recommend Aharen. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a skip for most people.
Skip for me.
Yep.
It looks very like fine. Like something I would have watched when I was a sad like 18-year-old with that was lonely.
It's a really good show to go to sleep to. Like if you're getting ready for
I will
bed.
say it reminds me of what I must think people who like ASMR for whatever godforsaken reason get out of ASMR.
Hey, don't kink shame unless that's your kink.
Well, what do you know?
Well, you know.
So like, I mean, if you like ASMR, good for you. I like crinkling bubble wrap by my ear, but like, it's just weird to me. But like, Aharen feels like if you like ASMR, you'll like Aharen. It just that's the feeling I get.
I like that. Moving on to a show, kind of in terms of me quality, same as Aharen. Shikimori's not a cutie. I thought episodes 1 and 2 were boring. I was not vibing with the show. Episode 3, the date and the family get together, significantly better. I had a great time watching episode 3. Still on the Shikimori like bandwagon. I think the show has potential to be solid. But for right now, it's just been okay. It's just, this is like when we talk about like generic. I think so far it's been kind of generic. The dynamic switching between the main characters is whatever, but like the dialogue is generic, the scenarios are generic, and I'm just having an okay time watching it. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie?
Yeah, so like, God, I'm sad episode 3 came out because I was ready to be contrarian about it. The last time we did one of these that I was on, I was too kind to Tacto Pete Destiny, and Emily told me that I had to be meaner, so I was like, the show I'm going to be mean to is Shikimori Is Not a Cutie.
Because you're picking on Haz as well.
But yeah. But I think that there's a few things that have... One, I think it was just overhyped. I think people were looking for the next dress up darling.
Yep.
And it was like the only thing that could have possibly fit the bill. And so like they put those sort of expectations onto the show, and that's what I got as someone who was just, who knew nothing about it other than people being like, it's this season's Dress Up Darling or whatever like that. Um, I haven't seen Dress Up Darling, but I have to imagine that Shikimori is not this season's Dress Up
You
Darling.
are correct.
So, I don't know. I think my, I guess, hot take is going to be Shikimori is kind of a boring character. She's like, here we go.
Let's hear it.
I don't think they switched the dynamics as much as people are talking about them switching the dynamic. Like, she still does the, like, normal female love interest. I get embarrassed when he says nice things about me. I'm very blushy. I go all doki doki when my boyfriend's nice to me, which is fine. Like, that's not bad. And it doesn't make her like a bad character, but the selling point of her being of their relationship dynamic being some sort of like reverse of your common rom-com anime dynamic. I don't think it really, I see that, because the way she protects him, and she's like, it's like from a supernatural force.
Yeah.
The best, it's like Final Destination almost, right?
Yeah.
And like that's not in any sort of normal anime rom-com, you know?
The only thing I can think of is Tonikawa, where that is legit like supernatural. Or is supernatural the right word?
I don't know if it's
Tonikawa?
super, like, I would love if the show took on like a bit of a supernatural turn to explain the bad luck. And I bet that's like a controversial take, because I don't think you necessarily need to explain the bad luck. It might just be part of the world and part of the character. But like, it does seem to pass down from the family.
It's so funny. It's so
and
funny.
it's okay.
She doesn't realize it. It's so good. Oh, it's the best.
And yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. Shikimori's been okay. I would say like episodes 1 and 2 are like 5s or 6s for me, and then like episode 3 is like a 7 for me. The best parts of the first 2 episodes is the girl with the short haircut.
The blonde hair girl.
She's in like 30 seconds of both episodes. So like that's to sort of demonstrate that I don't really like when male characters are too overpowered or perfect or whatever, and like them just switching it so that Shikimori's sort of like a Mary Sue kind of character isn't super interesting for me. I've heard from fans of the manga that around episode 8 or 9, this current, if their pace continues, the current dynamic will be switched up and characters will become more vulnerable, and you'll see character dynamic and growth and stuff. And like, that is something that I'm looking forward to. I'm really curious about that girl who seems to be jealous of Shikimori, because Shikimori is like unnaturally good at everything. And she's just like normally good at everything. So, that's something. I've talked a little too long, Pat. I apologize. What are your thoughts on Shikimori?
A show you don't like. You talked a lot. No, it's fine. I see the girl as someone that, at least from the perspective of the second episode, it's Kamiya, right? The blue-haired girl. I think she had something with Izumi, with the main guy. I thought that was the connection that they're building towards or something. I didn't realize that it was just a rivalry with Shikimori herself. So that's
It could be. I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought you knew that. Yeah, so then I don't know. That's the way I perceived it, because like they in like one of the flashback scenes or whatever, they showed the two of them, or he seems to remember her. I think is what it is. He's like, oh, I know that girl. To me, for one thing that I think is going under the radar a bit, probably because the song attached to it kind of sucks, but the visuals in the OP
they're fantastic.
Are so good. Like, it's probably the best visual OP that we have of the season, at least that I've seen. like it's cute. It changes styles multiple times, like in terms of like art style, without it feeling like bad. Um, like Spy Families does.
Spy
Shout
Families is
out,
great.
Spy
no,
Family's
It's
fantastic. You can't.
fantastic.
Yeah, no.
the very beginning and the very end are very nice, but the crayon part looks like shit, and he's a bad
Wrong.
artist. That's
Here it is. The crayon part has better art than Violet Evergarden.
Okay, you can suck a dick, Miles.
Well, this is so now because he said that his whole argument's gone because you can tell now he's shit posting, so he
Yeah.
actually agrees with me. So
we
there
just
go.
rock paper scissored ourselves.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So the visuals, I highly recommend you go look at it. Mute the song probably. It's not that bad, but it's
No,
not.
the song's
It
fine.
doesn't. The song's fine. It doesn't fit the vibe of the OP to me though. But like the visuals are really nice. I love the side characters so far. They've all been really really fun. I like that their names resemble their like whatever. Like I know it's a very anime thing, but like Inu or is it like Inu is one of them? Let me look at their names real quick. So um Inuzaka Shu is one of the guys. And he's like the dog kind of guy. Like he's like the bro.
Oh, yeah.
He's the dog. The
Oh, and
uh,
then Nekozaki, which is like the
Nekozaki
cat.
the cat girl or foxy girl, whatever, Kitsune. Like I don't know, like they all have like their theme of their name. I think that's like fun at least, and I like their personalities too. They are side characters, but they're there and they're fun. Like you mentioned, the blonde haired girl too has been pretty funny in the scenes that she's been in so far. Um, yeah, the first two episodes, I was sold more on it than it sounds like you two were. Like, I actually really enjoyed them. The first two episodes, I was like, oh wow, this show's actually pretty good. Like, it's not perfect. Izumi's a little bit of a bitch, like to the point where it gets annoying. But it never got that bad. But then episode 3 came out, and I was blown away. I was just like the family dynamic that they have is wonderful. It's great to see an anime
I'd
where
like to
it's
put that too.
allowed to be a family, like
I think I said 2 living parents, 0 out of 10 or something like that.
yeah, like so like present parents at least is the big thing, and it's like it's cute. Like his mom is just wow, like she is incredible. The fact that she is not aware of the bad luck is such a funny thing that I just it's stupid, but it's funny.
It's great.
And she's not even like woefully ditzy either. She's just dense, or
She's an
doesn't
airhead.
believe in airhead a bit. Like it's not like overwhelmingly so where it gets annoying like some characters do. At least for me. And then the dad's just a cool dude. Like that joke where he was like, "Oh, I can't believe my Shikimori and the mother were talking or whatever, and they were like, "Oh my god, I love you. You're so wonderful." And then he comes in and it's like, "My wife's having an affair in front of me." Wow, it's just like
I liked when they were doing the Wii boxing together. That was fun.
Yeah, like that third episode was awesome.
Really
It was
good.
so good. Like
It was good.
I just want more of that. So
Me
yeah,
too.
as long as it's less of Izumi, and that's the thing. Like after the first two episodes, I was kind of like already getting a little scared because I was like, all right, if it's 12 episodes of Shikimori saving Izumi or doing this shtick, it's gonna get old pretty quick. But I think they've shown that they're gonna change it up. The manga readers, like Miles said, have said it will change, and you never know if they're telling the truth or not. But I kind of have faith after that third episode. I'm excited for this show. I just it could also just end up being bad though. Like there's no there's the floor is really low on this show.
Yeah,
I
I
think
just don't know why
even though
they.
the ceiling could be pretty high too.
Yeah, I just don't know why. Like, I feel like Izumi doesn't have to suck as much as he sucks
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
in
He
order.
does.
It's not even his fault he sucks. Like, which is like, it's weird because like he's just like cursed or something. Like
Yeah.
to me, that aspect is just it's very hard for me to get over that. Like, he's not just like a normal cool dude who happens to be dating like a badass. He is like not like a bad person in that he like does morally wrong things. He is a bad person is that he functions poorly as a human because of how unlucky he is. And it's weird.
It, Yeah, for me, the unlucky part is just like enough of a funny bit, or at least as of now, a funny enough bit that I get over it, and I'm just like, all right, that's like it's at least some of the ways that he's been unlucky have been like kind of clever. Although the wallet string breaking, it's just like
That
really
is the
mad.
one that
Like
I
it's
was
like,
just thinking of. I was just like, it annoyed
dang
me
man,
that he took all of these precautions
it's
and
still
it
fun.
still happened.
But that's the thing. I like that because he is not a complete screw up. He's not a complete loser, whatever you want to say, right? Like he is trying, and But I like that they talked, like the mother talked about, like you. He is. He smiles and he tries his best. He is so much more concerned with everyone else around him that it doesn't bother him, and I think I like that as a character, and I like that he isn't, again, at certain scenes he apologizes too much, is too whatever, but he's not like an awful character. He's just a character that has awful things happen to him so much, and I think it's good enough for me to want to keep watching.
They should weaponize him, like the Japanese government
Yeah.
should weaponize him.
Genius. In terms of recommendations, I'm borderline. I think that if you're looking for a rom com, I think I would recommend Love After World Domination before Shikimori.
Agreed.
But yeah, I'd say if you're a rom com fan, I would say check out Shikimori. That's kind of my recommendation. I don't think it's bad. I think so far right now I have it like a 6. I think it's just fine. It's fine.
Yeah, would I recommend it? Probably not right now, but when we get to our end of season reviews, I definitely see a world where I do recommend it. It just depends if it's more of that episode 3 or
Yep.
more of an episode 1 or 2 kind of thing. Um, and that is, that's sort of the deal. So like right now, I would say if you're a rom-com fan, of course, give it a go. Um, if you are someone who just dabbles in rom-coms like me, wait, just see how it folds out, because it is scored pretty low on Mal right now. So like if you see that score starting to bump up, um, maybe check back in or whatever. But it's like a 7-2 right now.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's fine. I agree with the holding off on fully recommending it yet. Um, I really like the character design too in
well,
the
the character
show.
design's really good. I agree.
So like if the character design catches your eye, um, yeah, just give it a shot and see if you like it. I agree though that full on recommending it would be a little bit tough right now. As much as I am enjoying it, I could definitely see it just not being fun very quickly. You know, like the bit gets old and then they keep doing it or something like
Yep.
that. But yeah,
All right. That's our recommendations for Shikimori. Next show, I specifically put this on the list. I'm the only one watching it. It's called Don't Hurt Me, My Healer. And the reason why I'm putting it on here is because on Mal, it's a 5.82, which is a sham because this show is fucking hilarious. If you like Aqua from Konosuba, picture Aqua in like her own show. Like she is the main character. And that's what Don't Hurt Me, My Healer is. She is Clara is a priest and she's on an adventure with like a warrior and she's just the biggest fucking troll of all time. This show made me crack up so many times. If you like that Konosuba-esque comedy, this show is a treat. It's an absolute treat. And I don't understand why people think like it's bad. The animation's really whatever, but like the dialogue is so funny. Uh I'm not gonna spoil anything. If you're looking for something to laugh to, please check this out. I have it at an 8. I think it's that funny. So that's my recommendation for Don't Hurt Me, My Healer. And then Miles is gonna give his personal recommendation for a show because he's the only one that's watched it so far. Summertime Render. Miles, take it away.
Yeah, Summertime Render has been an absolute treat. It's currently on Disney Plus jail, so you might have to invoke another Disney property in Pirates of the Caribbean to
the best damn pirate I've ever seen. So
um, you know,
insane.
go see that. But an amazingly strong start. I think it has the best episode 1 I've ever seen in an anime. Um, it it just absolutely has a like it gets you hook, line, and sinker at the end. Episode 2 does a very, very good job of following it up. Now, if you're wondering if there are any biases that I have going into this, it hits literally every single one of the things that I like. So yes. However, it is done really well. It is directed super well. The animation has been good. The characters are interesting. There are a lot of great mystery hooks to it. If you at all like mysteries or anime or TV or any sort of story, I would suggest
If you like consuming media.
yeah. And honestly, even if you don't, and this is the first you want to try consuming media for the first time, I would suggest that you give Summertime Render a chance. It is really good. Besides the 2 unnecessary panty shots, it's
So you recommend a show with panty shots. Pete recommended a show with a lollicon's wet dream of a main character.
Wait, what?
She looks like a lolly elf.
Clara?
Girl.
And don't hear. No,
Look at her.
No, she's not lolly at all
Look
in
at
the
the
show.
cover.
She's not lolly at all in the show. Not even close.
No?
Not even close.
She's like Yaru Lolly on the cover, is what she looks like to me. I don't
She
know.
is not lolly at all in the show.
All right, be the tiebreaker, Miles.
it's kind of close, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd have to see it
In action,
motion.
maybe.
Yeah.
haven't
I
seen
think
it
she
in
looks like a
motion either, but
normal anime character.
Well, she's like a little. I see what Pat's getting at. Is what I'll
Is
say.
Megumi a lolly?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's
built like
less.
Megumin.
She's
not
less
built
lolly
like-
than Megumin is, though.
Not even close.
Slightly less, I think.
Because
Not-
the
not
character design is different, so
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It doesn't look like she's sexualized or anything though.
Not even
much. No,
close.
yeah, not in that screenshot. At
She
least.
wears
We don't
pants. She doesn't even wear a
Yeah,
skirt. She
that's
wears
what I was.
pants.
Yeah, which is like
There's
whatever.
also a singing, dancing mushroom in the show.
Yeah, I do. At the top left there.
Yeah, he's
Um,
fantastic.
Yeah, they Anyways,
Summertime Render. Yeah.
absolutely watch the show. It is fantastic. It is
All right.
so good. Oh my god, it's
Nobody has said a bad thing about it so far, and its score keeps going up and up and up. So
Yep,
that's good to see.
And so I have only one recommendation for a show. Don't know if you guys have heard of this one, but it is called Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
yes.
That is the show that I'm gonna recommend. It's a little sleeper this season, like no one's talking about it, but
Oh, you started it.
if you wait, yeah. Well,
well,
soon.
hold up.
no. Tonight, after your boy Kongming has finished singing for the night. I'm joking. Obviously, we're starting that as a. Seems like the group of people starting it is growing. That's exciting. The actual show that I'll talk about a little bit is Science Fell in Love. So I tried to prove it season 2. I know
This is our
Pete
speed
watching
round, by
it
the
a little
way.
bit. Yeah, this is speed. Well, I figured you two were doing a speed round already.
Oh no,
right?
no,
Like-
this is not the speed. We can start the speed round with you. These were
wow.
actual recommendations. Pat, start the
Oh.
speed round. These are shows that we're not talking about. Like, I guess Pat can talk about it, but we'll when we go into ours, what else we're watching in like a quick description. But Pat can watch. Pat, take it away, Pat.
I was gonna say, whoops. Well, that's my bad for misreading the situation. This show is fine. It's still fun. It's like worse Kaguya, but at least it's like, I don't know. I like the side girl a lot. The redhead, what's her name? Kanade. The one that's kind of like the person who's meant to like witness the ridiculousness that's
The
happening.
actual human in the show.
The actual human in the show, right? Like the person who's not like a borderline autistic scientist that just doesn't understand social cues or anything like that, right? Like she's a really fun character. But the show is fun still. It's also a lot of the like why did it get a season 2? Didn't need a season 2.
It did not.
It did not.
Season 1
it's
ended
ridiculous.
fine.
Yeah, season 1 ended in a place that you'd be like, oh wow, so they get together. Love that. Love is great. Something they could have done without doing all the science bullshit. But hey, that's
Yeah.
the same thing with Kaguya, right? Where they could have just confessed to each other, and then things would have been great. So,
I mean, that
so yeah,
defeats the purpose of the show then.
that's what I just said with this show too, right? Like it's like okay, yeah, great, it would be great, but it would be great if they did that, but obviously the reason they didn't is because that's what the show is. So yeah, I know I'd recommend watching it though. If you watch the first season, why not watch it? You know, like you already was that the logic, the fallacy of sunken costs or whatever. Just
Just commit to it.
commit to it. Why not? You
Wait,
know,
Pat's recommending a show with a lolly character in it?
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
At least she is stated as an adult and conducts herself as an adult to
That
some
makes
extent.
it worse.
Yeah, I was like, does
She's I don't know. I think she's not that bad of a lolly either. She's also not as sexualized either
I
as a
will
lot of
judge
lolly
this.
characters.
Which
she's
character
literally
is it?
dressed up as like a gothic Lolita character.
What's her name?
She's a nerd. Her name is Aina. ENA.
Oh, she doesn't really look like a lolly. Pete,
She,
I'm sorry.
she's
agree.
she's absolutely a lolly.
Okay, I can
I-
only see her head.
She's like 23.
Yeah, she's just I don't know. She's your typical nerd tiny girl, I guess. And I don't know. To me,
Oh, so she's a
I can
tiny
see-
girl, but Clara's
Yes.
a
and yet is
lolly.
quiet and
Because she's
smart
23.
and whimsical, and sometimes acts like a cat.
Kana and Dragon Maid is like 400 years old.
Oh yeah, Pete, you're going. Yeah, take that argument and
Yeah, it's a
shove it up
picture
your
of what,
ass.
Pat? A picture of what?
You're right. No, I mean that's the thing. I agree with that argument, but this is I disagree with it in this context because she's a literal college student that
Let's not
doesn't-
have this debate.
Fight!
No, we're doing it right now. We're ending this. Yeah, no.
Are
no.
cats lollies?
Fuck, Pete. Oh my god.
This is why we need to edit the podcast.
Yeah,
Pat,
No,
I agree.
never.
I
what about
agree.
Science Fell in Love?
I already said it too. That's
Okay.
the worst part. We should have moved on. It's
Right.
fine. Just watch it if you already watched it. Don't struggle to watch the first season though, unless this sounds like unless you're really that starved for more Kaguya content and are willing to watch a worse version of it. I don't know.
I also think it's fine. I have it as 6.
I'll probably end around a 6 or a 7 too, unless it gets drastically better.
All right. Restless Beyond. Is there anything else you're watching, Pat?
Legends of the Galactic Heroes.
All right, Miles. Are you watching anything else that we haven't covered?
Not this season. No, we have actually covered everything that I am watching.
All right, then I guess the speed round will be left to me. So I'll list everything else that I'm watching in my initial thoughts. Comey season 2. You like season 1? You'll like season 2. It's a little bit better. The Skeleton Knight show. If you like isekais where the main character becomes Ainz-Ul, whatever his name is from Overlord, but he's a knight instead and way cooler, you'll like this show. The greatest, the greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody. It's exactly how it sounds. If you like those style of light novels, you'll like this one. What else are we watching?
Are you watching Executioner?
That's literally the next one. Executioner and A Way of Life. Probably gonna be the next show I dropped. It doesn't really know what it wants to be. It's sometimes it's like very over the top gruesome, and then we get like Yuri slice of life baits. Can't really tell where it's going. So remember that like Other Side Picnic show?
Oh yeah, the best piece of art of all time.
Kinda like that esque, where like I don't really understand what the show is trying to be, and it's bad at the same time. So that's kind of like
It
yeah,
has prose invoking Hemingway.
yeah, it's peak. Yeah.
Okay.
Aoashi, the soccer. If you like Haikyuu, you'll probably like this. I'm liking where it's going right now. Daimon, probably the front runner for Slice of Life of the Year. This show is an absolute gem. It is very Barakamon-esque. If you've ever seen Barakamon, one of my favorite Slice of Life of all time. Sort of redoing your life in your like mid-20s, where like you had a dream, you set out for it, and it didn't work out, or something came up in your life where like you needed to like help your family and stuff like that. That's kind of what Daimon's doing, and it's been an absolute treat. Demon Girl Next Door Season 2. If you like Season 1, you like Season 2. Dance Dance Dancer or DDR Extreme Revolution 2. If you like ballet and love triangles, check that one out. It's all right so far. In the Heart of Tsubaki, it's done by the guy who did Teasing Master Takaki-san, where it's like a shinobi clan of ninjas and there are no men around, but they kind of have the idea of what men are and they're interested. It's okay. It's way it's way funnier than it looks. The cover picture is very questionable, but the show has been fun. It's like a solid 6. RPG Real Estate is a show about what if you were in a fantasy world and you needed to buy real estate and all of the real estate agents are moe cute girls. If you like cute shit, you'll like that. The last one is called Miss Shaku and the Little Baby Ghost, a healing anime. If you ever seen Senko-san, where like it's like the overworked Japanese businessman and then the spirits like help him like de-stress and stuff like that. It's that style of show. Kind of gives me like Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid vibes in terms of like the slice of life and the interactions. Pretty fun. It's definitely a soothing anime. I watched it before I go to sleep and it relaxes me. So that's my speed round. Gentlemen, let's move on to probably, depending on who you are, the number 1 or number 2 show of the season. And that's the 3rd season of Kaguya Love is War. Ultra romantic. Been an absolute treat so far. Loving every single episode. Banger after banger. I'm so glad to see my boy Ishigami. And just the scenarios that they're getting into. Me and Miles are manga readers, so we know what's coming ahead. But I feel like it's adapting it really well, as it always has been. And I'm having just an absolute blast watching this show. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the 3rd season of Kaguya-Sama?
Yeah, it's adapting it fantastic. They really add like a good amount of dynamicism. I don't know. They make it dynamic in like a really interesting way. The direction has been getting more and more fun as they go on, where like the scene where they were trying to get Ishigami and Miko to like get along, and the friend was like, oh, are you guys like fighting because you have a crush on each other or whatever? And like
Yeah.
just like the way that they played off of that was like fantastic, possibly foreshadowing.
Wow.
And
what?
Really,
No.
I can't believe no.
and,
Really.
and there's just so much about this is so good. I love Kaguya. It's my favorite manga. It is probably going to end up being my favorite anime of the season. It is only behind Summertime Render currently. But I don't have faith in things ending well. So the thing, that I imagine will be is I know the end of this arc of Kaguya, and I know that it's fucking great. So, I expect that to be good. Pat, what are you thinking about this season of Love is War?
Yeah, someone else actually in a server that I hang out with as well just brought this up too. Like it's going a lot more like maybe not for broke is the right way to say it, but it's like the absurdity and then the seriousness is like really like it's dialing up a lot on both
Yeah.
sides. And my big problem with the end of season 2, like so far I haven't noticed so far it hasn't bothered me in this season, right? Where like the absurdity has been used as for humor rather than for like what's actually happening in the show or whatever. It's been used with their reactions to what people say, where they laugh or they, do the whole like deadpan face because they're like, oh, like in shock. Uh, I was so annoyed at that last episode of season 2 where they like blow up the school and then they just retcon it at the beginning of the season. They were like, oh yeah, that was a real thing that happened, but no, it didn't happen actually. Like I don't know, it just felt so stupid. It wasn't that funny of a bit compared to like the other bits where the what do you call it? The absurd humor is funny. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I I'm saying all this even though I'm loving this season so far too. It's been really fun to watch. I's her name, right? The blonde is just
Yeah.
so good. Hayasaka, I love her.
And you only get more of her, so don't.
I
You're
know, I
you're for
can't
a
wait.
treat.
I know, I'm excited. I don't. Oh, I see. Shiragane's father is listed as a character this
Oh my
season.
god, I can't wait for his. Oh, his
That'll be
bit,
interesting to
dude.
see.
It's incredible. Akazawa is a fucking genius when it comes to writing. I can't wait for you to get to that
Yeah,
part. The
yeah,
His
yeah.
anime.
Because
bit
like,
in season 2 was really good.
It's
So
better
that's
in season
right.
3. It's
That's
better in
right.
yeah,
I
no,
season
think
I know,
3.
I know.
I was thinking of Kaguya's father actually. I think when I
Oh
saw it, I
no.
just read that as Kaguya's father is going to be in the show, so that's cool. But yeah, no, I remember his bit in season 2. That was really funny too. But I don't know. Again, like it's been really really funny so far. But I also don't want so it's like it's hard to say I want it to speed up because like obviously I'm enjoying every episode I watch, but I do want to see some progress too. You know, it's weird when it goes from whatever happened to them trying to get reelected. Did they get reelected
They
officially, or
did.
is
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
they
that
did?
happened in like
Okay, I thought
episode 5 of season 2.
it was done that quick. I could have sworn it was like still going on
That's
even when
how.
like.
Yeah, that's how.
That's how Miko joined.
Miko joined the student council.
Oh, okay. I thought it was still going and or like not completed yet. I guess I don't know why I did.
That's the arc before the sports festival arc.
Right, and then the sports festival arc has like Ishigami. Like that arc was really fun. I like that a lot. Um, I don't know. It's really a fun show, and I think if you were watching it before, you're gonna keep loving it. Um, yeah, I want more progress though. I want more
Well, I think you can see it
substance,
happening. Like they're flirting with each other is becoming
more open for sure. Well, the thing
yeah.
is, I think they both know that each other knows too at this point, right? Like they didn't
It's definitely
necessarily.
approaching that, right? Where
Yeah.
they assume that they like each other in the way that they interact, which is why
Mhm.
Shiragami bothered apologizing for being in that like compromising position with
Right.
Ai because he knows Kaguya likes him and he knows that she knows he likes him, but they're like mentally aware of the game they're playing
Yes.
together
Yeah.
still, you know? Um and but I think with like, in the most recent episode with her like leaving the coin and stuff, like in a certain way, like uh, you can see that veneer eroding a bit. Um and so, that I think is good. I would agree that like e- more obvious overtures might be preferred. But I like the uh, subtlety of what they're doing with each other and
Yeah.
how they're
That's fair.
communicating.
I don't mind it being subtle too, but as long as it just keeps going, and it is going now at least. I should yeah. I did feel like at one point though in season 2 it was just like, damn.
I think a lot of it is that there's a good chunk of season 1 where the show is getting in the manga even at the time it's getting to its feet, and then they just like don't count that period of time because it's like before there's like an overall narrative, they just have the bits, they have the skits and stuff, and then at some point the author was like, okay, this is good, I should make this into like a narrative and we're going to start from here, and maybe that's the firework episode arc of season 1 is when it gets started. But you still had to deal with like the will they, won't they, but 8 episodes before then. Like I think that's a perfectly valid criticism of the show. If I was pacing things, I, I think I'd be like 4 episodes ahead of where we are now or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very fun though. I can't complain too much because it's a
Oh
really
yeah,
it's such a
it's a
it's like Spy Family where like the idea of it is so clever that it's like it's hard for it to fail, I think. It's definitely I still think it's a little overhyped though. I compare like a lot of people. I think like Spy Family is living up to the hype that it got and like is doing really well. I think the show people hype it up to be like the best rom-com ever or
Yeah.
whatever, and
They do
I'm
because it is.
Yeah, I would say just wait because
I don't know.
The
It's good.
writing is so good, especially
it's
what's
phenomenal.
coming up. Where, like you said, it's eroding. Like it's not going to be season 1. Like it's going to be its own thing. I would just keep waiting. You will. There is a reward at the end of the tunnel, and you will thoroughly enjoy it. I'm personally waiting for season 4, which is the most like.
I hope we get season 4. I really hope
we're gonna
we get
more.
I think they're going to finish the entire series. Like, it's in its final arc right now in the manga. It's probably going to be done this year, and we'll probably get 5 or 6 seasons of this, is my guess. And I think they'll adapt it all. But for me, we've been talking a long time, so let's wrap this up. I think Kaguya is a must watch. It just only recently fell out of my top 10 all time. Ishigami is one of my favorite characters of all time. It's my third favorite manga or second favorite manga, depending on if the Oshinoko chapter hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this author. His writing is so good. If you like Love is War, you should read Oshinoko, his new whatever product that he's working on. It's just an absolute treat. I think this is a must watch. If you haven't started Love is War, please start it. Miles.
Are we asking if I would?
That's a transition to you on your recommendation of Love is War.
Yeah. So, I don't think I would recommend Love is War.
You stole my joke. Yeah. God damn it!
As I just looked Pat in the eyes and said it's the best rom-com of all time. I am of course biased on that because I'm not quite up to date on the manga, but I'm close to up to date on the manga, and it's great. I would recommend it. It's a nice and easy watch, and even if it is a little bit overblown, that makes it instead of a masterpiece, a slightly worse masterpiece.
It makes it really good, is what it is. That's fair.
So like I definitely give it a go. It is worth the investment of the first 2 seasons to get here because those are also very good. It really isn't that much of an investment to get up. It's just enjoyable essentially the entire time through. Those are my thoughts.
Nice. Pat.
Yeah, well, so I was going to make the joke that, the main reason I wouldn't recommend this season specifically is because the OP sucks. It is awful. It is not fun. It isn't Daddy Do. Or,
I would say it sucks, but it's definitely a downgrade.
It's not.
It has the best visuals of any of them.
It's so good. The visuals.
The visuals are fun. I liked season 2's visuals with them using the different weapons. I thought that was really fun.
I like the Scooby Doo bit in Daddy Do.
That too. The Scooby Doo. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I don't know. Like, jokes aside, that it's still really good. Would watch it if you've already watched the first 2 seasons. I'm assuming you'd tell you to watch the third. I think it's worth it. It's just that OP, man. Kind of disappointed. Like, it's not that fun. It doesn't have that.
I really like it.
Doesn't really have that hook, that really gets you in the groove.
It's like anticipation that builds, and it never pays off. Kind of like.
So you like getting blue balled? Is that what it is?
I was yes.
There you go. All right, good to know. That's our review of Kaguya, guys. There we go. Good job. We made it to the end of the season.
Awesome. Way to go, guys. That is our first impressions episode. If you have made it this far, thank you.
God bless you.
Well, I was going to say why. Why you made it this far?
Thank you. And if you want to support us, the best way to do so, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment on whatever platform you're listening to us on. We have audio and visual content for you on our YouTube or anywhere podcasts are found. We have a bonus episode this coming Thursday. The same cast right here. Pat and Miles will be joining me. We will be reviewing on paper what should be a incredible movie, the Netflix movie
I'm
Bubble.
not hopeful. I can't bring myself to be hopeful.
I have such high hopes for this movie.
He's my favorite writer. He is like essentially never missed.
Yeah.
I'm not hopeful.
Yeah. If you've never heard of Bubble, look it up. It's going to, on paper, looks absolutely incredible. From the PVs that we've seen, the visuals look stunning. It's done by Wit Studio, who can't miss in the last like 3 years. So
No
really
Summer
looking for
Ghost.
that.
No. It's
Was
no
that?
Summer Ghost. It's no Summer Ghost.
Summer Ghost is like 40 minutes long. It's like
I know.
it's like an extended episode. So
I know. I'm sad. It's gonna.
Bubble is like at least an hour and a half, I think. So if you look forward to that, join us on Thursday. Otherwise, next Monday we will be doing Aria for our watch club, and then the following week we'll figure something out. So I want to say thank you, and we will see you next time.